They're getting their matchup in the background right now for the very first game. Players are ready. I'm going to go ahead and tell them to go ahead and start the battle. What we're going to do, Ben, I'm going to put you on a cliffhanger, my friend. Steven, I'm going to put you on a cliffhanger. The reason being is because we're going to get their battle up and going. We're going to interview both of them afterwards, and we're going to do the same to both of you in your battle. Do you have any smack talk you want to throw at each other real fast?
We're too nice.
Gosh, I tried.
I can't. I mean,
I tried.
If it was Glenn, you know, then I'd have it going. But Ben and I, we're just good friends. You know, we went on a hike when we first started at Second Dinner, and you know, it's just all kumbaya since then.
All right. Be nice, be humble. I see how it is. Whatever. Fine. You know what? We'll talk to you two real soon. All right, let's go. We are gonna hop on in, ladies and gentlemen, to our first matchup. Codes are gonna be shared. 3, 4. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. We're gonna go ahead. We're going to mute and put on Glenn Jones, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching from the point of view of Glenn Jones versus Mathias. Mathias right now. Here we go. All right. Looks like Glenn is going to be opening our Symbiote Spider-Man deck first and foremost with a Phoenix Force variation. At least is what it seems like, because we see Nimrod, we see Iron Lad as Wave drops into the sewer system. There we go. All right, we are good to go. Holy wow. Yeah, can we all shout that out for a second? Glenn Jones is rocking as many pixel variants as absolutely possible. That's fantastic. All right, let's see what happens though. He's debating on the Shuri, and for the Phoenix Force deck, if this is going on the Galactus line, because we see Wiccan, we see Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and Wave. To me, this screams that they were going to go down the Wiccan path. However, they did not draw Wiccan. Oh, they did. They just went for the priority play. Mathias putting out the Wiccan as a surprise even after that Wave play. And with Symbiote Spider-Man just potentially trying to get ready for what else there is to be. And ladies and gentlemen, there it is. First time on stream, we have the brand new Activate automatically in there. He played down Symbiote Spider-Man, pressed and held to showcase that it was going to go active after Nimrod comes in. The music got incredibly loud. Yeah, I see it there. Thank you so much, chat. Appreciate y'all. We'll drop that back in the background. So now, because Symbiote Spider-Man has been activated after the play of Nimrod, Symbiote Spider-Man will take on the entire effect of Nimrod in that side. So we have a basic arrow, a Symbiote Spider-Man, because it is the only card in the lane, which means it will target the Nimrod. There it is, swoops on in, absorbs it, and now Symbiote Spider-Man is acting as a 12-power Nimrod. Looking at which direction he wants to have all of those symbiote Nimrods, I guess we'll call them, drop on down. Yeah, the swap in, though, is absolutely fantastic. Here comes the Alliance! Alliance comes down to ruin the carnage. The purple fart of doom prevents the back and forth. And just like that, Mathias has taken 4 cubes off of Glenn Jones. Boom. Wow. What a way to start it out. Starts us up and going. All right, I see how it is. Well, I'm watching you, Mathias, now showcasing it and also making Glenn pay in the process in the round 1 as we get a snap from Mathias again. You can tell Mathias has snapped because we still have the rings around the cube right now. That means that Glenn has not snapped. And we don't know what's going to happen quite yet. Here's another Quicksilver, and Mathias maybe snapping because he's pulled the curve again. Not sure. Griffin, welcome on into the chat. Gonna go for the immediate destruction. He's sitting on Iron Lad, so even if you don't get the Phoenix Force line via Phoenix Force, they could chance it. Iron Fist also in hand, and they fill up already into the raft when we get a Zabu and a Pim arrow. So it's a low lane, which could easily be swiped back in as we get Iron Lad dropped out by Sakar, who pulls a rock. The most dud Iron Lad reveal. But it is what it is. That's okay. It's okay. Glenn's sitting there, 2 cubes on the line, trying to debate which way he's going to have to go through it. Sakar did get a graphic update a couple of updates ago, yes. For those who are asking in the chat, also, we're not essentially sure what's going on, but Twitch is aware. We're trying to get the Twitch drops up and running because we're supposed to go live at season reset. So I apologize in advance. If you're a follower, you can see, just like Jay used for the very first time, you do have emotes for Glenn, Mathias, Steven, and Ben. So give support in the chat for who you're rooting for. Looking at the line, you could bring it on back, drop down the Iron Fist, and then maybe get some additional moves later on. Tough call here. Who here in the chat wants a Pixel Nimrod to help, round out the Glenn Jones Pixel Phoenix Force deck as Nick Fury drops in with an Infinaut, which was the free card from the raft. As nice as that Phoenix Force is, which takes on the Human Torch, I don't know if they're gonna be able to take on both the Infinaut in the middle lane and still retain over in the raft. That goes for a full tiebreaker in the left. If he moves over the Human Torch, it's going to double to 24. It's only going to put 30 in that lane. He'll be up by 10. Basic Arrow still waiting on something to drop on down. Tough. Looking for the tiebreaker scenario is what it looks like and trying to capitalize on it. As Mathias says, I don't have enough here. Because we could see a couple of different things happen and decides to back away, leaving 2 cubes on the table. It's going to be 8-6 lead going into round number 3. Ooh, and we see a Red Hulk pop in. Asteroid M. Now, Asteroid M's really interesting here, because if you take the Asteroid M and you try to play into it, now knowing that we have Symbiote Spider-Man in hand, that Human Torch becomes very interesting because Symbiote Spider-Man has to be played onto Asteroid M, then activate, because otherwise it's going to miss its activation location because it's going to get dragged on over. And we're gonna do nothing. Straight up, the collapsed mine. Easiest skip in Marvel Snap. It is what it is. It's okay, though. It's okay, though. And he goes for the Wiccan. He decides to drop down the Wiccan. Maybe go with a full float on 4, considering he's already got the advantage. It doesn't hurt him as much to skip now, but ensures the Wiccan play. Meanwhile, the safety of Symbiote Spider-Man goes in there. Seeing 2 destroy cards in hand, this could be just straight up Symbiote Spider-Man, Nimrod into Deathlock Carnage. I'm a fan of that. This is the concern I was having about Asteroid M earlier, but at the same time, it's just a safe play to make sure that it doesn't get Goliathed. That was probably the direction Mathias was going at that moment. He does still have priority, so it is a threat. And what would end up happening here is, for example, if Mathias drops down that Goliath in the middle lane, it'll remove the text from Nimrod because it won't be revealed. If Symbiote Spider-Man then activates and takes on Nimrod, it's going to take on a no ability. And they Rulk into Collapsed Mines, still end up keeping the priority, and the threat of Mathias having that priority again is big here. Drops are live! Drops are live! Woohoo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know it, you love it. Drops are here! All you gotta do is watch. If you have not paired up over yet, all you gotta do, head on and use !progress, because that will link your Twitch account with your Marvel Snap account. Just hang out here for the next couple of hours, and y'all are gonna get 65 Symbiote Spider-Man boosters for 2 hours, 4 hours, and gives you credits, and 6 hours gets you a mystery variant, or you could just win a mystery variant at the end of this portion of the stream. Here comes the Iron Lad, which takes on the form of Kate Bishop, shooting a couple of pieces into the hand. Symbiote Spider-Man now also moves in there. It looks like Mathias forgot about both elements, potentially. Both elements, just putting 12 power now into the mid, hoping that the Red Hulk's going to be enough here. Here comes Nimrod. Now the slide over of the Deathlock, followed by a Carnage on top of it. That's going to bring Carnage up to 4. Shoot out 2 more Nimrods into the side and the side, and the Human Torch now goes up to 8, and 23 is going to take the middle lane. That brings it to a tie game. 6-6, Glenn Jones versus Mathias. Moving and bobbing and weaving all the way around. And Asteroid M backfires on Mathias, and we now have a tie game, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Everybody say it with me. We have Asteroid M on the board. Everybody say it with me. Say it with, you know what to say. Location batching isn't real. There we go. All right. Now we're gonna have to, hopefully Mathias has learned his lesson. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. We will find out though. As Zabu drops into Hotel Inferno, kills the Carnage, and Multiple Man now also kills the Psylocke. Psylocke, Zabu, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. We could see Wiccan once again in a Mindscape. Ruins a lot of end turn combos, unless if we can get a Phoenix Force draw. A simple retreat. I'm a fan of the retreat here. He has none of his activators. He doesn't have a Nimrod. He doesn't have a Phoenix Force. He doesn't have he doesn't have a secondary destroy to prepare for it. This is a good retreat right here. And going into high stakes now, it is essentially still a tie game because you're looking at double digits. And now with 5 on 6, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Nico with the +2. Gotta be careful here because there is a chance that Human Torch gets pulled from it. I like the skip play as Wave comes in. Now getting that +2. You got to pick and choose what you want to do here. Do you want to take advantage of the Human Torch, getting the +2 that way, or do you want to use the Iron Fist to get the +2 that way? There's a great line here built in with Symbiote Spider-Man as well if they want to use Human Torch as a standalone activated card. Because you could play out the Symbiote Spider-Man, right? Play out the Symbiote Spider-Man on the Human Torch and time it right with the Iron Fist. So you'd have to drop down Iron Fist, then activate the Symbiote Spider-Man. And instead it looks like they're going to take the Destruction play and bank on some pull of either, could be the Iron Lad, it could be the Phoenix Force, whichever they could pull. And Nick Fury is our drop down. So not going to be able to capitalize on a wave advantage, but instead decides to destroy. Ooh, takes down the Nico just for a little bit of power. Dream Dimension is threatening on this turn, but the Iron Lad in hand brings a little more life to it. It looks like they're trying to set up for that Iron Fist play we were talking about. So we might be able to see Symbiote Spider-Man in its activation ordering in a very unique way, if that's the case. And we get a snap. Snap from Mathias going into the Dream Dimension. Iron Lad comes down from Mathias, which takes on the form of Wiccan. Wiccan is going to be able to hit because everything has still been on curve. So 2 extra energy, even with trying to balance against the Dream Dimension, is the case. You can see there on the Symbiote Spider-Man right now, press and hold to activate. So you gotta make sure if you play cards into it that you're doing it in order. They play down the Iron Lad, then activate. You have to get that order right, otherwise it will activate on nothing. Please be aware of that. All right, there we go. The actual wicking comes on down, so now they're sitting on 10 energy on the final turn as, oh, we get a really cool effect here. We've taken on Shuri, which means it's going to then re-trigger, and now the next card that's played into Titan is going to be 4x'd, because both Shuris have now hit. So huge play could happen here if they could configure just a little bit of oomph, and it looks like they might be able to. It is a double-double. It is already at 12, yes. It is already at 12 because remember, Symbiote Spider-Man absorbed a Iron Lad. So 6 plus 6, that's the base 12. Both effects are then now active for the next card. So it would do a double followed by a double. Mathias holding strong here, 6-1. Could the Newverse community manager, Mathias, take down one of the men who actually created the cards, Glenn Jones? Oh, dear lordy. And to think Mathias is currently playing and it's like 4 a.m. his time. Put those follower emotes in the chat, y'all. Who do you got? As we get a whole bunch of Raptors, which now favors heavily Glenn Jones. Shuri's Lab is incredibly tempting here. Because remember, the play... Oh man, this is really interesting. And it's Galactus! It's Galactus! The secret of Mathias comes out! And Iron Lad snipes a Galactus out of nowhere! Oh boy! Who had that on their bingo card? It's 6 rounds in, we haven't seen a hint of it. And Mathias pulls it on out with Iron Lad. And now it's a battle for Shuri's Lab, for Glenn Jones's life. And Glenn Jones just missed a huge opportunity. No! Glenn Jones missed a huge opportunity. He could have done Symbiote Spider-Man into Shuri and then activate afterwards, and it would have 4x'd on Shuri's Lab. Oh no! It would have 4x'd and then doubled. Yo, this Iron Lad has to be absolutely huge. Oh man, oh man. All right, with 6 on the board, and they got the Venom. They could only put in... If they play down the Human Torch, it doubles to 4, that goes to 30. Venom eats it all, that goes to 33, doubles, that goes to 66. 66 is the only total here. And Rulk is going to go up to 60. And Wiccan's going to bring it over the top. And ladies and gentlemen, in a complete upset, Mathias has taken down Glenn Jones, the man, the myth, the mystery. Oh, what a surprise. No farts needed. Wow. What an absolutely insane upset right there. Absolutely insane upset. We're going to get Glenn and we're going to get Mathias. We're going to bring him here on stream. Wow. What'd y'all think of that? Because Mathias is moving on to the final. Let's get...
Your deck was almost the same as the deck I was thinking of, the other deck was.
Hey, gentlemen. Coming on in, coming on in. Boom. There we are.
The Galactus.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were playing Galactus. I didn't know what you had cut from my deck. I still don't actually. Oh yeah, no, I see. I was playing a Venom and a White Widow where you had a Wave and Galactus, and a Wave and Red Hulk.
All right, I think we're live up on Twitch now.
Yo.
Oh.
We are coming in. I love listening to you though. I'm gonna let you two talk. That's fine. You guys are chatting it out. I appreciate it. Because I mean that was just a beyond unexpected matchup right there. Seeing how you both were running symbiote completely differently.
Right now. So we're hearing him at a delay.
Alright.
So we're gonna bring you on in. Now y'all can go on in and hear. I'm just listening in the background talking to chat while you guys were finishing up there too. So now everybody can hear me, correct?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Right. So for those who do not know, we're going to try that one more time because now everybody can actually hear you. Let's first start with Mathias, then we're going to go to Glenn. So Mathias, for those who do not know who you are, please introduce the community to you.
So I'm Mathias. I'm the community manager for Europe. So most of you might know me for the work I'm doing for distributing code, organizing events, solving most of the problem content creator can face, and that's a lot. So yeah, mostly working on the front end.
Yeah, we've had a lot of communication, to say the least, over the last couple of days, and I just want to, also personally thank you so much for being such a huge help and part of making this event happen. It was a little idea I had, and then it slowly started to compound more and more and more things. So, Mathias, dude, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you've done on the back to help make this event happen. And now we have to continue that conversation over to someone wallowing in defeat, Mr. Glenn Jones.
I'm not wallowing in a micro decision, but yeah. I'm good. Yeah. It was a fun game. I think it's a really, really bad matchup, but I don't think I played the last couple games that well anyway. Interestingly, I was deciding between Ghost Spider and Iron Fist up until like the last minute, and I decided to play Iron Fist every single game. I was like, wow, I really wish this card was Ghost Spider. So much better against Goliath. So punishing to just get to have to worry about so much. But yeah, it was a close call.
I was sitting here screaming afterwards, going, "Oh my god!" That last match in particular on Shuri's lab. If the Shuri and the Symbiote Spider-Man were played the other way around, it would have quadrupled and then doubled. I'm like, no, we had a chance, but it was wild to watch.
Yeah.
It's a crazy card.
I was trying to play around. I couldn't remember how much, like what had been exactly what had been played and what his potential was to play an early Goliath. But I definitely just did the math wrong because I didn't count the Red Hulk procs correctly because I thought I would be able to. I thought I would pip Red Hulk by 1, even if I did it the way I did it, and then I was like, oh no, I'm off by 7. Oops, that's a big difference. Or by maybe more. But yeah. So I just did the math wrong on that one, but I was definitely just still thinking about the Ghost Spider math from the previous game. I was like, I think Ghost Spider just wins
the whole time going, Ghost Spider, why didn't I play Ghost Spider? Why
Yeah.
didn't I play? Listen, I understand, and I appreciate you just even, again, being a part of this as well. Glenn, I know we're going to be going on to our next match of Ben H versus Steven. I have to always articulate it's Ben Hayes, it's Ben Hayes, it's Ben Hayes. It's not Ben Brode, it's Ben Hayes, because we have to introduce a little bit more of Ben to this community as well. So, do you have any final words before we move on to our next match from either Mathias or Glenn?
Well, I'm all good. Have a blast.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Mathias, stick around. You'll be facing the winner of the very next match. So we're going to head on in. We're going to get them officially sharing their codes on the back end of the stream. And we're going to watch this from the point of view first of Steven. All right. Pop that out. All right. They're sharing their codes. Beautiful. Gonna mute them. So that way they don't hear anything. All right. They're sharing their codes right now. As soon as they're pairing, we will go on in and make that matchup happen. So match number 1 in the books. Mathias comes on in, takes down Glenn Jones. What y'all think so far? Hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing right here from the second dinner and new verse teams. Man, I missed casting. I haven't cast a match in a while, so I appreciate y'all hanging out here. Especially because you're now getting Twitch drops. Oh no. Why would you do that? And they're good. Whew. Okay, good. They matched up. All right, let's get this live. That's the wrong thing. There we go. All right, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. And it's Ben H, Ben Hayes from Second Dinner versus Steven from Second Dinner. And we have a variation here on Phoenix Force, so we're going to start with a couple of matches from this perspective. Man, look at this. We even got Onslaught. Wait, Onslaught? What is Onslaught doing here? What is Onslaught doing here? I see a Tribunal into Phoenix Force all the time, but not with an Onslaught. And Ben H immediately on the snap goes ahead and regresses. All right. If they're playing the alternate line too, I mean, that could have been a detrimental setup in the middle lane there. Ben H didn't like his opening hand. Steven had the advantage of the location already on his side. Ooh, look at Steven with the full ink. Look at all this. Is Steven a full-on Phoenix Force enjoyer? I love it. Who would have thought? Okay, they draw the Onslaught here. We got a full destroy line potentially going on Ben H. It could be a variation on the Force, which means the Tribunal line could be the difference maker in these battles. Because again, the only stipulation we gave all of our participants is you must use Symbiote Spider-Man. And the question in the chat, to answer that for y'all, do they have to earn everything like we do, or do they cheat code? They earn everything. They do not have unlimited free accounts. These are their own personal accounts. As Magic opens up the big house for more play lines by converting it into Limbo, while we get Shuri into Washington, D.C. on turn 4. Now with that extra line, and a Clintar to give us extra could have given us extra symbiotes, but no. Ooh, we get a snap. Snap from Ben H. He has the line he wants, with 2 extra turns to do it. Ben showing off his Goose 2200 gold emote. See how it is. Love it. And a murder world on 3. All right. All right, fine. Just give it a magic. Nobody plays cards for 3 turns. It looks like Ben is also kind of picking a little bit of information slowly out of Steven, trying to decide which style of deck he's running. As we get an empty Deathlock, followed by Atuma! We're Atuma Gaming, y'all! We're in full-on Nimrod hell! We are Atuma Gaming. I love it. And a snap already. I love the emotes back and forth between everybody. As we get Nimrod to drop down. Oh, look at Ben showcasing all of those different album variances. Nimrod's going to explode due to the brand new reworked Atuma. That's going to be a lot of Nimrods on the board, man. Can we get Atuma's hovering animation now to apply to Echo? Anybody else think that we should see something like that on Echo whenever you play a card in that lane? Because I know, but please let me know in the chat. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Here we go. We're going to get a first destruction, the Deathlock over into Eternity range. That shoots out Nimrods into Avengers Compound and to Limbo. Venom's going to eat up that whole middle lane, put out even more Nimrods onto the board. It's going to be, the whole board's going to be filled with Nimrods, and it's all going to come down to the middle lane. It's going to fill the board. The second another Nimrod goes off, it's one more card, and that's basically it. And, oh man, Steven was really banking, absolutely banking on getting a top deck of that Onslaught. It's one of 2 cards left in his deck, unfortunately. And he puts on the Retreat later. He puts down the Retreat later, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna swing on over to Ben's point of view as well to showcase what else is going on here. I thought Ben had his gameplay live. It looks like he doesn't at the moment. Let's get it set on up. Back at Steven. We start us off with a couple of ninjas and just a simple Deadpool over in the right. And the brand new destroyed mansion comes on down with the undestroyable vibraniums in hand. Lots of consumption fodder over on the destroyed island. As we get X-23 and the non-destroying vibranium. So we could be looking at a danger room. There's a couple of unique things they can do here with the symbiote Spider-Man too. You can get a double activation. You can get a hovering card, right? So you could Deathlock. And they go for their Deathlock. We get a full skip from Steven. Deathlock destroys out the Deadpool and the X-23, puts another energy on the board, gonna have 5 to work with next turn, and Deathlock survives the danger room. As a small part of Steven is hoping for his Deathlock to survive now too. Here's the symbiote Spider-Man, which survives, and the Deadpool survives, and then the Human Torch actually dies. Ben sitting there. Now with an extra activation on getting that symbiote Spider-Man to absorb Deathlock, because remember, it's going to be targeting the lowest cost card, so it would absorb into Deathlock and then be a into Deadpool, and it would be a 4/8 Deadpool. So it doesn't necessarily have the hope that Ben might need long-term, because that's a little expensive to replay later on, but it would be essentially a 4... If they get the Destroy to also happen on it, it would be a... Yeah, and they go for it. There's the 4/8 symbiote Spider-Man. Venom eats it on up. That's going to convert it then, as we get a reconnection, it's going to convert it to a 4/16 in hand. And Venom dies in the danger room! Venom dies in the danger room! Oh! As Phoenix Force comes on down and brings that Human Torch back as a 4/7 on the board. Couple of options to work with here. You could go down the Tribunal line. Could go down a full-on just eat 'em up line. Things like Carnage, Multiple Man, eating a bunch of the fodder. Killmonger would backfire, potentially. Yo, as Griffin uses his Amazon Prime. Thank you so much, Griffin, supporting the channel, dude, using your one and only Amazon Prime, getting rid of all of those ads and getting access to all of those emotes. Thank you, man. Appreciate that a lot. Asteroid M, our old friend. Yes, you get access to like 50 different emotes. And immediately, turn 2, Hala, Destruction, Chaos, and Snap. if both players are running similar potential lines, we all know now at this point the danger of Asteroid M. There's 4 cubes on the board, and a very interesting decision with Gamma Lab of making it viable or not. This actually looks to be a fantastic play line for Steven, who's got the multiple man into the Deathlock, into the Phoenix Force, which they could play into Gamma Lab, and then it would get pulled into Asteroid M, making a duplicate on the line as well. They could even do a Hercules play on 4 instead and have it reappear at that point. As we get it, ooh, they're building the line. They're building their line. Here we go. There's the multiple man reinforcing itself, and I'm floored he didn't play it to the side. That's all right. They know something we don't. Through the line. And chat, you are right. Chat, you are right. As I think about it retrospectively, I'm stuck in Symbiote Spider-Man mind, where it would have been the 4-cost card, which would have gotten the pull. But because it's multiple man, Phoenix Force is on the inside, therefore it doesn't do the play line, so it wouldn't have gotten the drag. Chat, you are 100% correct. This is why this is the best chat, hands down. Because you all call me on my stuff. Steven's in for everything here. This is for all 7. This is for all 7. Going on an emote spree. It's a battle of the Nimrods versus the multiple men. Which line is it going to be? The cards are down. The men are revealing. 1, 2. Give us all of the multiple man. Ben is flexing, feeling really good right now. Hercules bounces it out. Makes another. 16 into the mid. 25 into the left. And 15 into the right. Here comes the Carnage to put down a couple of Nimrods. That's going to eat it on up. Shoot up to 6. 2 12 powers go over. There's the Deathlock re-destroying the Nimrods. Only going to be 5 in the middle. Put another 12 into the Gamma Lab. Put another 12 into the Asteroid. Slide over the Deathlock. Bring it up to 23. And those 7 cubes hang on as Ben has been brought down to his final cube. And it is now 7-1. Advantage, Steven. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Major moves happening there. And Ben has a hell of a comeback ahead of him. Yeah. Multiple man for the win? Definitely. Oh. Starting to fill the play line for the white hot room. Nowhere it's going to be a little bit of a nuisance to have to deal with. Steven now takes the advantage here. With those ongoings, he can drop into nowhere. Buying some more time by playing down the magic. As Carnage goes for the destruction piece. There's Symbiote Spider-Man. Symbiote Spider-Man could take on the form of Multiple Man as well. Ooh, and Ben's showcasing his symbiote at the same time. Both have an activate ability ready to go with 3 turns to decide when to use it. Oh, with Phoenix Force in hand. Oh, some scary things might happen here. Watch this. We've got the activate of Symbiote Spider-Man, which is going to take on the Multiple Man. Symbiote Spider-Man absorbs Nimrod on Ben H's side. And he's taken on 1, 2, destroy, 3, 4. That's going to be a 9er into the graveyard as Phoenix Force rests in their hands right now. Able to bag at least 2 of those. It's going to be 2 15 power multiple men to work with on the board. Could be just enough to keep Tribunal going. Steven looking for an activator as well. That would have been fantastic, but let's see what he has in mind. As Hulkbuster goes over to the Symbiote Spider-Man now. Those are now 15 power Symbiote Nimrods. As Shuri drops onto Limbo second. Brings back Symbiote Spider-Man to 14ers. Oh, Steven. Oh, Steven. No. It's not as good as you think. It's not as good as you think. Will Steven catch his mistake? Oh, man. Will Steven catch his mistake? Unless if he's doing it exclusively for power? Because Hercules won't kick out. The move happens, Symbiote Spider-Man's gonna resolve, bring the other Symbiote Spider-Man back on in. Hercules is exclusively there just for 4 power as they fill up the lane with Human Torch and Venom. Eat it all up, it's gonna be 24, which is the number to beat, but there are Symbiote Nimrods on the board at 15 power a pop, and we're gonna get our first destruction of Venom, who's gonna consume that on down, bring the 15 powers over, they're gonna steal Limbo in that instance, and unfortunately, Ben is gonna live and move on. We're still alive, y'all. Here are the other 15ers. Because copies do not count as moved cards. It's not gonna kick out the Spider-Man. And that's another 2 cubes off of Steven's total. Stick around, y'all. It is 5-1. Steven versus Ben Hayes. Mr. Jarrett, can you do it? You're in round 7 now. Oh boy. All the ones are down. All the ones are down. And they skip 3. They're not sitting on any destroys, or at least destroys that they want to use yet. That is a scary thought if you're Ben. Knowing that you've got to win now 3 more in a row. Total of 4 to be able to move on in this battle. Phoenix Force is going to bring back a whole bunch of movement. They get the on curve 4 Human Torch. And here comes Shuri. Move the Human Torch. Move the Human Torch. Good. Whew. I was like, there's no way he's going to miss this. I'm actually a little surprised we're not seeing a magic right now. I mean, that's a lot of power. You're going to double it up. It's going to be to 24. 24 plus 9. 24 plus 9 is going to give you 33. 33 times 4. 132 divided by 3. 34 in each lane. There we go. Is my oh no, I forgot about the Deathlock also, so it's another 10. That's gonna be 53 in each lane. Symbiote Spider-Man's gonna take on the activate of the Shuri, and the Nimrod's a lot of power, but it's not enough power. And Steven, ladies and gentlemen, Steven Jarrett has taken down Ben Hayes from Second Dinner. That means that we have our matchup for the final officially set up. Which is absolutely insane. All right, we're gonna swing on over to their chat. Let's get them up and running over here and say hi to Steven and Ben. Let's bring you on here, bring you on here, bring you on here, and then make the interview scene appear. Hey, I should probably share my own screen. Wouldn't that be helpful, folks? Yeah, it would probably be helpful. There we go. There we are. All right, Ben, Steven, the battle of the forces.
What's up?
Hey. Good game, Steven.
Good game. I told you I was gonna melt you, man. I did. That was a great game.
Yeah.
It's interesting watching how different people approach the same deck, right? Because we saw different variations on the Phoenix Force lines in a couple of different decks so far in today's battles, and the secondary win condition built in with the Iron Man and Living Tribunal line versus those that are really all in on pushing the Atuma line with more and more Nimrods on the board, getting that non-Shang-Chi-able power, but easier to spread power out on the board. It's kind of like a Dr. Doom mindset of just, you know, Ms. Marvel, just spread a whole bunch of power wide and see what sticks. I'm going to first throw it to Ben on your deck creation with the brand new Atuma. Because that was the first thing I did as well, was messing around with Nimrod Atuma as soon as we had the OTA with the updated new version of Atuma. Tell us a little bit about, you know, because I know you've been on the testing side and got to see Symbiote Spider-Man early. If you had to introduce this version of the deck or any other Symbiote Spider-Man decks to the community, which direction would you go to and why?
Yeah, so I was mostly trying to do a Nimrod type thing, and then kind of deciding what to fill it out with. I decided to try to fill the deck out with Deadpool and Hulkbuster, and have Deadpool basically as a backup plan. I don't feel like that worked that well. Like every time even when I could kind of think about Deadpool as a line, I wanted to save my destroy cards in case I did have Nimrod. So I'm not sure that it was actually the best idea, but I'm going to keep messing with it. And yeah, right. Basically, I had like Deadpool, X-23, Hulkbuster, then the 3 destroy cards, and then the Nimrod Shuri stuff. Yeah, I think I would have been better off maybe for this playing Magic, and I don't know if maybe Magic, maybe like Shang-Chi, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun games, and my Deadpool plan didn't. I played Deadpool for Steven, but my Deadpool plan didn't really work.
Before we go on to Steven, I do have to ask 2 rapid-fire quick things. First and foremost, for those who do not know who you are for the team at Second Dinner, can you please give a little bit of background of who you are for the team? And secondarily, have you found the baby?
Yeah, the baby's safe.
Okay, good.
I can maybe hear her right now. So my name's Ben Hayes, which is confusing with Broad. I've been at Second Dinner for about 3 years. I mostly have worked in actually our R&D, working on new stuff in the company, but for the last 3 months I have been design director of Snap. So I'm Glenn's boss, and I oversee the whole design organization, so the team that makes all the cards and the locations, the user experience team that really has their hands in everything, like how Activate works and how alliances feel to poke around in, and the bounties and all that stuff. And then the feature design team, which also makes stuff like alliances, does design on new game modes, leagues, things like that. Fun fact, even though I've only been on the team for a few months, even on the sidelines, I designed a fair number of cards, because it was fun. My favorite cards that I've designed are Sentry and Null. Sentry is one of my favorite comics, so that was fun to have my design of Sentry end up in the game.
So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We can stop harassing Glenn from now on. Everything is Ben Hayes' fault. You've heard it here officially. So we can now take that weight off of... Okay.
No, I delegate. I delegate like a good boss. So it's still Glenn's fault.
Okay. Steven, my man. Steven, good sir.
What's up, dude?
First off, congratulations on your win. You're moving on. You're going to be taking on Mathias, so I'm not sure if you're going to keep the same deck or if you're going to switch it up. But having that secondary play line in the Phoenix Force deck, I did want to ask you as well. Were you upset I redid your entire presentation at IGN?
No, I thought it was great. Thank you for doing it. You did a better job than we did. Seriously, it was awesome.
I'm just, for those who do not know, there's YouTube videos to talk about. But for now, let's talk about Symbiote Spider-Man, because you've had a lot of time to experiment with Symbiote Spider-Man and different play lines and different ways to use him, because I see him not just in Phoenix Force, I see him being a very critical move card. Just in general, getting those smaller things like Ghost Spider and Iron Fist, because they're going to be the lowest cost cards on the battlefield. Is there an archetype that we're not immediately thinking of that we should be saying, hey, based on your experiences of, getting ready for this card, don't be surprised if archetype blank becomes really popular due to Symbiote Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool options you can do with Symbiote Spider-Man. Move is one. I even almost used him in a Darkhawk deck so I could trigger more rocks or Cassandra Nova a second time. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with Symbiote Spider-Man that can just get kind of nasty to your opponent.
Oh, the rocks reactivation and not having to run Rock Slide instead, and just run that because it's more power on the board. Ooh, I like that. What have you started, my friend? All right, maybe we'll see that in the next deck.
I'm a Darkhawk lover, man. What can I say? I love to run that deck. It's helped me many seasons.
We're just happy it wasn't all pixels.
A fan in the 90s on the original comic run. Even have a painting of Darkhawk in another room. So big fan. Anytime I can make that deck work and make it still live in the new world, I'm always glad to mess with it. But for today, I've always wanted to be good with Torch Tribunal. and I was like, I gotta bring something pretty spicy for Ben today. I know how good Ben is at the game, so figured I'd give it a go, and yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic battle to watch. So, Steven, Ben, thank you guys so much for the semifinal showcase. Steven, you're going to be moving on. We're going to get you back into your gameplay room, get you paired up over with Mathias. Ben, thank you again for being here and being a part of this event. Do either of you have anything final to say before we move on to showcase the final?
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me. It was really fun, and I hope to do stuff like this in the future.
Hey, I'll hold you to it. Thank you so much. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to get all of the setup happening for Steven and Ben right now. Let's get you guys connected and disconnected. All right, so Mathias coming on in with a Wiccan deck, which took down Glenn Jones. Steven, who went down the route of Phoenix Force, who took down Ben Hayes. Who do you got? Show me with those follower emotes. We're going to get them set on up. Oh boy. Beautiful. They're getting paired on up right now. Ooh. So, being it's going to be the first round, I'm going to get the ads out of the way. Let's just get the ads out of the way. You'll miss the first round. I'll tell them to play slow, because otherwise it's just because it automatically happens. So, stand by. All right. You see it there. We're good. All right, now. And don't worry, any of the redemptions that have not gone off, I'm going to redeem them afterwards because we're in the middle of the presentation. I just don't want those interfering with it itself. This time, let's go take a look from the point of view of Mathias. We have not seen Mathias's gameplay for now. So we're going to go in and get them on showcase. There we go. All right, we're going to the battle scene. Bring Mathias on. Good luck, buddy. All right, Mathias versus Steven. Jarrett, and Mathias is showcasing his Wiccan deck once again. Looking to see, and oh, and Steven's made a change. He's gone down the path of Darkhawk. He's got the Korg on the board. I love it. I love seeing it. Absolutely love seeing it. All right. We get a Korg. We got a Kate Bishop over in the Isle of Silence. And Wiccan already here again on turn 3. Mathias has gotten a lot of consistency by playing both Psylocke and Zabu into this Wiccan build. As Cassandra Nova's going to hit for a 3/7 and keeps up with the 4/7 Wiccan and keeping the priority in the favor of Steven. Hoping that Dream Dimension would have been the one. And we have... Oh, we have the Galactus draw. We have the Galactus draw. It's only a 6/4 and does not have priority. But it is something to consider because it would also be able to go against deactivating the Dream Dimension for turn 5. Especially knowing that Korg is on the board and Darkhawk is now viable, we do have to have a little bit of fear for the left lane. The left lane's going to present a threat now because the ongoings would have been dead there, which restricted that Darkhawk. They do play into the middle. Here comes the acid arrow to fire over into the ruins, and Steven reveals his Cosmo that would have stopped the Galactus. So a safe call by not getting that Galactus down, even though they have the energy, would have had the energy to play it on this turn. Now Mathias has to decide how to capitalize while only having one spot in the left and right lane and no on-reveal abilities viable to them in the center. This could be straight up capitalizing on the power of Hulk as is. We could see Wave drop on down to allow some 4-costers, 2 4-costers with that Nick Fury. And we have a snap. Steven comes in with the snap here. And they've committed to Hulk in Los Diablos. Here comes the basic arrow. That's going to give an extra piece as they go to play it later on. And the Ravona drops into the mid with some extra reduction. Now we have the threat of Darkhawk plus Mystique even on the board. Priority in the favor of Mathias, and he top decks Goliath. And he's happy with the blob play, knowing that the Darkhawk could get dropped mid safely behind the Cosmo, and then some uncertainty depending on where the Mystique could drop on down if that's the line they're going with. Steven doesn't feel good about it. Maybe he didn't get the top deck, maybe he didn't get what he was looking for, but what we do know is that they are moving on to the next round. It is still Mathias with a nice confident lead, taking out 2 cubes now here in round 2. And Oscorp Tower opens us up in the left. The consistency that Mathias has had of having Psylocke or Zabu on turn 2 has been absolutely insane. As we get the Psylocke on 2, Strange Academy is going to be able to fly things around later on, and Symbiote Spider-Man could allow for another activation as well of that Psylocke if they play it on down in a lane by itself. Steven showing the worry of ice. We have a monster. Now, the Iron Lad, if Iron Lad hits Wiccan here, it's going to give the full effect. What does it hit? Hits the Goliath, which destroys the item in the Monster Island. What do we got? Cosmo. Oh, Cosmo has been put down. Cosmo has been put down. And now Iron Lad is the lowest cost card in the lane. We could see the Goliath. We could see a double Goliath if priority permits. That is the second way to activate your brand new Symbiote Spider-Man, ladies and gentlemen. The second way is to click into the card. You see there's a yellow button on the bottom that says activate. You can press it on in there, or if you're looking at the card on the main board here, you can press and hold, or if you're on PC, you can click and hold, and it will also automatically activate the card as well. Here comes the Mystique taking on the Iron Man, this time over into Oscorp Tower. Thena is going to allow for some potential growth, as Symbiote Spider-Man has now taken on, without priority, the Goliath. So it's now just sitting as a 12-power symbiote. Mathias is prepping for the YOLO. If he pulls off the YOLO for the win, y'all, we need to make it like a really bad meme in here. And we get a snap from Steven, who's feeling confident in his lanes. Is the YOLO worth 4 cubes, Mathias? He puts down a Darkhawk, and it's just a Kitty Pryde. He pulls it off. Galactus ruins the mid. He pulls it off and takes off 4 cubes off of Steven Jarrett. With the appropriate emote. He got worked. Steven now down 10-4. Can you hear it? Oh man, oh man. What a play to pull off the YOLO and continue on. Now, Steven Jarrett's got to climb back, man. It's still round 3. It's still the low stakes. Got plenty of time to work with. But man. There goes Hawkeye. There goes the Cosmo as Kate Bishop disappears, and they sit on Iron Lad, Nick Fury, and Goliath. Remember, folks, at the end of this battle, we'll bring back on Steven and Mathias, and then we're gonna have more giveaways. So stick around. We've got season passes to give away and more. If Mr. XFPS is still in the chat, I need your in-game name, good sir or ma'am. All right, let's see here. Got the wave down on 3. Maybe going down the path of an early Goliath, depending on priority. They're going to keep that priority as Rock Slide drops on down now. Well, that's a really scary line with Symbiote Spider-Man. With Symbiote Spider-Man, they could Goliath here, then Symbiote Spider-Man in the same lane, take on the Goliath, and then reactivate it to keep the lane clear on turn 6 if they keep the priority. But instead, they go for the Iron Lad, which takes on Red Hulk, as Symbiote Spider-Man lands in there to get extra rocks to land. Oh boy. Symbiote Spider-Man takes it on, puts a couple more rocks down. Here's Athena ramping up over in Monster Metropolis, which takes the Monster Metropolis bonus. And now Mathias has to figure out, with priority, if he's going to try for the Goliath snipe, or just put down power, maybe to try to compete against Monster Metropolis. Now, with Ravonna down, again, we are in the threat. We are in the threat of a duplication and a Darkhawk. There's 2 different ways to go about it here. It's a matter of which do you think you can win? The Leviathan left, Leviathan mid, or Leviathan right? Steven says, bring it on. He's in for all 4 cubes. Mathias could clean sweep Steven Jarrett. And he decides, no, he backs out for 2. We're still alive, y'all. It's still 8-4. Too many indecisions. Too many indecisions. Oh man, oh my. Emote after the retreat. Exactly. Now Mathias, after seeing all the rocks in the deck, is going to probably avoid Vibranium Mines at all possible costs. We get a couple of pieces here from that Hawkeye. Now, Negative Zone, Acid Arrow, great combination, and a Dream Dimension to work with, too. Still don't have a top deck of Wiccan, so the Wave could be played now instead. Maybe steal a little bit of priority in the Negative Zone that way. Ooh. As there's the Wave dropping on down, keeping things viable. Double rocks enter into the deck. Dream Dimension still a nuisance as we get our first rock pull from the rock slide interfering. I like the Red Hulk play here. Negative Zone's a lot harder for Steven to keep up with due to a lot of the strength from that Iron Man combination, as they do drop a Symbiote Spider-Man into the Negative Zone. Oh, we could see a really unique snipe here too. If Mathias lands the Acid Arrow into Negative Zone, it would actually steal the ability from Symbiote Spider-Man because it would now be the 1-cost card in the lane. So pretty much anything else that Steven plays, if Symbiote Spider-Man takes on the Acid Arrow, it would be a 4/4 Spider-Man that would then shoot to the opposite side and give 1 power over to Mathias, which would be really fun to watch. But instead they go for the Iron Lad in the left, and it's Wiccan. It's not a Galactus. We can all breathe. We can all breathe. Here's a Cassandra Nova. Ooh, looking to get 2 procs out of Cassandra Nova by reactivating that Symbiote Spider-Man to steal that lane. And again, there's priority. But even with it... Oh, they're gonna go... Oh, man, this is gonna be great to watch. Mathias has 2 cubes in for Steven here. This could be a, like, just steal it, call it a day line, because, man, if that activate presses on down because Mathias is prio, we're going to see that Acid Arrow go flying back and forth and back and forth. Oh, please let it work. Ah, Steven runs away for 1 cube. And honestly, given the round, being that it's low stakes, that was 100% the right thing to do right there. We would have seen Symbiote Spider-Man fly back. It was 100% the right thing to do there, as Devilish Play has raided on into the channel. Thank you so much. Welcome. We're in the finals right here of the Dev Tournament. Mathias versus Steven Jarrett. 2 cubes are now on the line. Steven comes on down with that Darkhawk deck, trying to take down the Wiccan build of Mathias. There's Athena. Not Athena, but there's Athena. There we go. We have to articulate it. And the Iron Lad could, I mean, if we have a Wiccan top deck, we have a wicked scenario to deal with. And there's a snap. Steven's going in for all 3 if Mathias says yes to it. Steven is pushing right now. He's feeling very confident. To put his tournament life on the line, he goes in for all 3 cubes again, and we get a wave hit for Iron Lad. Rock Slide comes in, hits a couple of times. Doubles up to 6. Galactus is exclusively a 10 power card. It wouldn't activate or proc because the reveal effect would happen and then the location would double it. So it wouldn't give him exactly what he's looking for. We're potentially in just a Red Hulk scenario for a lot of power in the right. But Steven, if he's sitting on Symbiote Spider-Man, he could be playing Symbiote Spider-Man on Shuri's lab, which would turn to 12 and then activate that Rock Slide and take it on again. That's a great line for Steven if he's got it in his hand. Mathias still banking on, what's he gonna drop? Is he gonna just do the lows? He's just gonna throw out the lows, get down the Kate, try to keep the priority. As we get a Cassandra Nova and Valley of the Hand to steal the priority back. And Kitty Pryde enters the equation in Shuri's lab a little later than what Steven would probably like, but still can't be upset about it either way. This is 100% the line. Try to pull the doubling of Red Hulk from the Shuri lab over using the grapple hook. Here comes the Symbiote Spider-Man. That goes to 12. Kitty Pryde bounces, turns to 6 in the hand. We're going to get a Darkhawk Kitty Pryde is what it looks like they're setting up for. As Athena continues to climb, it's really a race here for Valley of the Hand. 20 power Rulk sliding on over to Valley of the Hand. That makes it a 28 power lane. Can Steven go up 28 over 28 into Valley of the Hand? Steven has priority, so Eliath is not a fear. Does he stay alive? And there it goes. Take on the Symbiote Spider-Man on that rock slide. Proc off 2 more times. Darkhawk drops into Nidavellir, brings up the total to 35 on the tiebreaker. Red Hulk's gonna come in, go on over, double up. It's 18 is the advantage. There's the Athena, and they secure 3 cubes off of Mathias, and Steven is still alive. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All of the math. All of the math. Steven is still alive. Mathias now sweating a little bit here. As a huge advantage location for Steven drops it down in Lechugia. Nossa. Kitty Pryde. And an Asteroid M. Quicksilver Zabu looking at a Nick Fury play, potentially here. And Panopticron is the play, which is great for Nick Fury. Man, Kate Bishop also really likes Panopticon too. Oh, me, oh, may, oh, my. We have Iron Lad taking on Activate. So the first iteration of an activating Iron Lad is now here. Oh boy. Oh, this is fun. And that's going to drop down the Zabu again, which will allow a 3-cost Symbiote Spider-Man to be dropped down maybe into Panopticon. He did press activate. Either way, it would take the lowest cost card, so it's going to take on the Zabu, activate the on-reveal again for one more turn. Here comes the Nick Fury, raining 6 drops. They pull Leader, Onslaught, Null. Leader, big card here right now. Big card here right now. For those who are asking, yes, Twitch drops are live. If you use the command progress, you'll be able to go ahead and take a look at your own account. It'll take you to a link directly on through. Você precisa saber seu drops. Você fala drops. Funcionando, go ahead and usa do chat com progress. Exclamation point. Thank you so much, AM Bacon, for doing that. Go ahead, there's your link right there. Did I catch it? Ah, I missed this. Oh man, I missed the ads. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. And Mathias backs out. Mathias backs out, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a tie game. Please let him know in the chat. Mathias retreated. We're tied 3-3 going into round 7. And oh my God, these locations are raining for Steven, as now Onslaught Citadel drops in location number 1. Wow. And Zabu drops his on reveal with Wiccan in hand, so the Wiccan advantage is gonna go live for Mathias, which might be his saving grace, as Great Web messes with everybody. And that's a huge advantage. Huge advantage for Mathias, now bringing out that restriction, so Onslaught Citadel is more of a nuisance. Yo, and Symbiote Spider-Man on Wiccan to get that to proc again? Oh, that's just mean. That's just mean. I love it. They're really banking though on nothing moving out of Onslaught Citadel. If something does, then Symbiote Spider-Man's gonna take on that effect. Here comes the Korg, followed by Cassandra Nova. And Cassandra Nova slides, so Wiccan's gonna be able to re-proc with Symbiote Spider-Man, as they now sit on 7 energy plus another due to Psylocke. They activate on Wiccan. And they have some scary things that are about to happen here. Oh, Mathias. Welcome back. Galactic Lad is the worry. But Mathias has activated his Wiccan first. And if Iron Lad hits the Galactus, it's going to be a meme all by itself. Here we go. There's the Wiccan, which takes on that new effect, gives it more power. Iron Lad hits. Kate Bishop, it's not the Galactus. It's not the Galactus, but we have a Pim and a Grapple to work with now as Nick Fury's going to drop 3 cards into the hand. Blob, Sasquatch, and Leader. 2 cards were played, so Sasquatch is going to be a 4/10 on the next turn. Here comes the Kitty Pryde and the Symbiote Spider-Man. And they didn't get the Galactus play, but Mathias is working with 10 energy on this final turn. And priority. Can Steven play around this? Can Steven play around? We're probably, I mean, we're definitely going to see Spider-Man give more love to Korg. He's going to reproc, give another power. Does Eliath hit? Does Eliath hit and take all the cubes out? Both players going for the end of it. This is the end of the tournament right here. The Devs tournament for Marvel Snap celebrating Symbiote Spider-Man. Does Steven go? And he plays into the Onslaught Citadel. Eliath is going to remove all of that. Sasquatch drops down into the Great Web. Symbiote Spider-Man adds another rock into the deck by absorbing the Korg. Here comes Darkhawk number 1. And there's the Kitty Pryde for just some power on number 2. Zabu's going to slide on over. Athena's going to go on up. And Mathias, ladies and gentlemen, has taken down Steven Jarrett. Whoa! Great call by Steven to move the other direction and not play the ongoing, expecting the Eliath in that lane. Absolutely great call right there. Absolutely great call. He made the right one in that instance. But me, oh man, oh my. That was incredibly close. Incredibly close. Let's see if we can get everybody. Let's see if we can get everybody over for one last congratulations. Let's bring it on over to the interview scene. I'm going to share my screen now because I'm always on top of things, I promise. And there they are, Mathias and Steven. Mathias, dude, considering it's what, 6 a.m. your time, right? Roughly?
It's 5 a.m.
5 a.m. your time? Dude, congratulations. Great job. That was an amazing battle to watch. Steven, you brought the Darkhawk too, man. You brought it.
I tried. I was close. I did. I got the multiple rock trigger a few times. It worked well. That Galactus at the beginning, though, man, that wrecked me.
Oh my god, that was wild.
It really tough. I spent the rest of the match trying to play around Alioth and Galactus. It was tough.
That was a really tough one because, I mean, look, Mathias, you had a very unique build. You took down both Glenn Jones and Steven with a Wiccan Galactus Eliath priority, throw it in your face symbiote Spider-Man build. Let me ask you first about how you came to that style of deck creation when looking at symbiote Spider-Man first.
I really like Galactus. I would say Galactus deck from the beginning of Marvel Snap have always been my favorite deck. So I have to try with every new card if there is a possibility to make Galactus work with it. And I think it can work quite well. Especially with Nick Fury, if you can have a lot of energy with symbiotes, and you can achieve like 10 energy if you have so many cards, and you can overpower your opponent very well. Alliot is very powerful, can counter nearly any deck. It can be like, I was not afraid of any deck with Alliot, so. Yeah.
It's a regularly
comfortable.
consistent card, to say the least. And one of the things that I know they're talking about here in the chat too is the stonks of Quicksilver are shooting way up. Because I know, Steven, you felt it on the other end of it too. The consistency of seeing not just Quicksilver on 1, but regularly seeing Psylocke and or Zabu on 2, it just brings that fear for whether it be Nick Fury, whether it be Wave and going in just to fill the curve. There's so many things you could have done with that combination. So, Steven, how are you going to take this deck? Because you're a Darkhawk lover, right? How are you going to take this deck and say Symbiote Spider-Man is the way to go for the future? How can we bring it up to the next level for the community, which a lot of people are playing Darkhawk because it is a very strong combatant against he who must not be named, the big red A guy.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's why I love running Darkhawk right now. It's because of all the airshim that we're seeing. But man, the deck I just played against is tough. You know, it's immediately I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do differently with it to try to compete against Galactus and Alliath. I mean, that's one of those decks that you probably just retreat from if you don't have a good setup against and you know, when you're stuck in a, you know, no holds barred death battle against that deck, sometimes he just doesn't roll right and they get lucky. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely want to brew on it. I'll see what I can figure out to make it a little bit better. I had to cut Angela to fit Symbiote Spider-Man, so I might play with cutting something else to see if it works better, or trying to swap in Wiccan for Ravonna maybe and see what that does. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Ravonna is such a key part of that deck, in my opinion. That's a tough cut, especially watching the battle. I know, Matthias, you were feeling it on the other end. We kept seeing, okay, here's Lechugia, and now here's Vibranium Mines, and then here's Onslaught Citadel. It was just like every helpful location for that Darkhawk deck kept going one by one by one, and he even went ahead and played around it on that final turn, trying to, you know, get away from the Alliath. It was a really, really tough matchup. So I'm going to ask you first, Steven, and then Matthias, to introduce yourselves for those who have not seen you or been a part of this aspect of the community. Steven, let everybody know who you are in the world of Marvel Snap as well, and if there is any final words that you have for this part of the presentation.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Steven. I lead product and strategy for Second Dinner. I've been working on Marvel Snap for a little bit over 3 years, and it's been just an awesome time making a game that, you know, thankfully all you guys love. And you know, my team builds a lot of the features and the economy and the shop, and so I hear a lot of feedback all the time. I'm always happy to see it and use it to make the game even better.
Well, we appreciate it because we know it is not an easy job, especially when everybody's an expert. So we thank you for committing to that, because man, it is a lot coming down the pipeline. I know there's a lot in the pipeline for the future as well. So you've got a lot on your plate. Thank you so much for being a part of this and supporting me here on this stream in that aspect. Matthias, my friend, congratulations on your win. Please, for those who do not know, introduce yourself. Who are you in the world of Marvel Snap?
I'm Mathias. I'm mainly doing the community management for Europe. This tournament is a great example of what I'm doing. If you have a great idea like guest have now, you want to organize something, just come to find me and I will help you to organize everything from A to Z, for the giveaway, for the exposure, for everything. If you have a tournament in mind, if you have some project for Marvel Snap, if you want to show it to the world, come to find me. I'm here for that. I will help you to make your project come true. So I'm helping a lot of people making Marvel Snap like bigger, greater, and we all enjoy seeing it. More stream, more tournament, more event. That's what we want.
I think what we want even more officially is now a Matthias Sage variant, because of that everything going on in the background. So Matthias, congratulations. Thank you so much for being a part of this as well. Steven, thank you once again. Y'all, that has been our dev tourney, but stick around as we go to the next screen. Community, I have a load of giveaways for you all. We're going to take a 3-minute break because, man, do I need to use the restroom. But that's what happens when we do these live events. So thank you guys so much once again for being here. I appreciate y'all. Great job.
Thanks, dude.
I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Good continuation. Yes. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to set this up on this side. Let's go ahead and do this. And play this. All right. Griffin, no, thank you, man. Thank you for everything you've done in the background as well to help make this happen, make this possible. I know how much of a nuisance I've been. But this is a huge day, y'all. We're on the front page. We got drops. We got giveaways. And we also got a BRB screen.